my channel. So today's video is going to be a actually long awaited video. I didn't really realise that these were so popular until I stopped doing them for a little bit and then went to start them again, and everyone was like, hey, hello Eve, you've not filmed an evening in with Eve and Gin for quite some time. It's now 5:30, so it's not really the evening, but I'm going out this evening for a drink with a friend, a few drinks with my friend, and I thought, well, why don't I make it a evening in with Eve and Gin / get ready with me / Q&A. So it's like a get ready with me, and also not actually with Gin, it's with whatever this is. Honestly, can we have a chat about how cheap alcohol is? Here it's €6 for like a big fuck off massive bottle of whiskey, whereas in the UK you'd pay like €20 for that, well, £20 obviously, and a bottle of gin was €5. And I was just there like, this was less than €1. Imagine getting a tinny in the UK for less than £1. You're not going to. So yeah, I'm here with my tinny and gonna answer your questions today. I've already curled my hair, which is why my hair is kind of in this interesting sort of get up. It will look all right when everything is done, I hope. But yeah, but before I talk about anything else, I just wanted to say that today's video is very kindly sponsored again by the Great Courses Plus. You guys know that I love the Great Courses Plus, especially now I'm on my year abroad. I actually don't have any uni work. Well, I do have uni work to be doing, but I don't need to be doing it for like quite some time because I don't go back to uni for quite some time. And so I've really been trying to like take this time to learn about things that I've always wanted to learn about but not had the time to. So for those of you who don't know, the Great Courses Plus is a subscription on-demand video learning service, and basically there are over 11,000 video lectures from professors from Ivy League institutions and other renowned places teaching you about any topic under the sun. It can be economics, history, life skills, you name it. Basically it will be on there for you to find. Because there are no tests or anything like that, you can literally just do it at your own pace. You can really absorb and learn more about the topic without having to worry about deadlines or sort of doing it to anybody else's requirements, which I really, really love. And as an audiovisual learner, I personally think that video lectures are such a good way to learn. It's also really nice to learn something outside of your sort of course, and there are literally so many options that you can pick from. Going on from the course that I did last time I mentioned the Great Courses Plus, I'm now doing a course about America after the Cold War, so basically the first 30 years after the Cold War, and it's just like a series of lectures that I'm working my way through, and I feel like I've already learned so much, and if that's not for you, you will definitely find something on the site that is. If you would like to start your free trial, then be sure to go and click the link which will be on the screen and in the description, and I'll put basically everything you need to know down below, and you can go and explore it for yourself. Thank you so much to the Great Courses Plus for sponsoring this video, and go and get learning, guys. Expand your minds. Okay, so the first one's quite deep, but I feel like it's a good one to start with. Why not start with the deep questions? And it is, do you wish that you'd taken another path in life? Like, how deep is that for a Saturday evening? So obviously, I think if you guys have watched my videos before, you'll know that when I was younger especially, so sort of like GCSE time, if you'd have told me that I would have ended up doing the degree that I ended up doing, then I would have been like, are you actually crazy? I'm really glad that I did end up doing the one that I did. And a lot of people are always like, oh, do you wish that you'd gone down a different route? Do you wish you'd done like science or maths or whatever? And sometimes I sit there and think, oh, what would it be like to do a sciencey subject at uni? But now I've started my internship at this newspaper, I really, really love it and I really enjoy it. And it doesn't really feel like work to me. As in, like, I want to write more and I want to, I don't know, be there. And I was like, right, no, I definitely am glad that I took the path that I did. And even though I didn't know that I wanted to go into journalism when I started my degree, I'm glad that I picked the degree choice that I did, because it meant that I had the flexibility to kind of do my year abroad and like do some internships, figure out exactly where I wanted to go. And also with languages, like you can kind of specialize in anything in that sort of law, publishing, whatever. So it gave me a lot of like freedom of choice that I wouldn't have otherwise have had. And I found that that was like very freeing. So no, I don't wish I'd taken another path in life. I can see why people might be like, oh, maybe she regrets it because I really struggled in my first year at uni. But no, basically. The next one is, how is the dating scene in Berlin? So basically before I got here, I was told you genuinely have no chance because polygamy is like a really big thing here, aka most people on Tinder in open relationships, and like every single German person I've met since I've got here has been like, yeah, honestly, the majority of the city are just fun-loving, freewheeling, not looking for long-term commitment, etc, etc. And I was like, well, that really doesn't tick any of my boxes, I can't lie to you, which was a bit of a mess. But honestly, I've tried German Tinder and it's been pretty successful so far, so I'm gonna withhold judgment on the Berlin dating scene. Everyone was being like, really tried to scare me off Tinder essentially at the start, and I was like, I'm not gonna be deterred. I'm gonna give it a go because you guys are always telling me, oh Eve, like you just need to put yourself out there. So obviously during Corona times it's a little bit harder to like physically put yourself out there, if you know what I mean, but like you get the drift. So I can't really comment on what the Berlin dating scene is like exactly, because I feel like I need to give it a bit more time to really sort of find out what it's all about. So I'll come back to you on that one later. The next one is the hardest thing about moving abroad. Honestly, I didn't find it that hard at all because we'd had this pandemic, and I'm not gonna lie, after 4 months, 5 months in West Bromwich, not being able to do anything, the thought of being able to move to a city like Berlin, which is so open and like have my own place, have my own space, I was like, get me gone. But I would say the hardest thing, paradoxically, has been because of the pandemic. Like usually when people are on their year abroad, they can quite easily go home for the weekend, or people can come and visit them, and people are coming to visit me, like Sterren and Sneaker are coming next weekend, and I'm so excited, like I could honestly cry. And they've said even if they have to quarantine when they get back, if they're already here, they'll just stay because they've got 2 weeks free, and I'm really fortunate. But when everyone goes back to uni and everything, then I'm really worried that I'm not going to be able to go and visit, because I think the pandemic is obviously cases are going to start to rise as we go into the winter, which is natural and to be expected. But that means that I can't like pop back to Oxford to see everybody for a weekend like I'd obviously plan to normally. That's what you do. People on their year abroad will go back and see everyone, go to a formal or two, spend the weekend, do you know what I mean? And so I think that's the hardest thing, is not knowing if like when I get back at Christmas I'm gonna have to spend my Christmas quarantined, and not be able to see like all of my family, only be able to see like my mom, which would also be absolutely horrible. So basically, and also then that would be really horrible for my family because they would also have to quarantine. So yeah, that's the hardest bit, it's just the uncertainty of that. I know that like honestly, even if the pandemic gets really bad, I have insurance that covers me, that I can stay here, but I don't know if other people will be able to visit slash like if I'll be able to go home at all between now and December. And it's not that I want to go home, it's more like I'd like to have the option to be able to. For example, for my aunt's 50th birthday, they were going to go to Liverpool for the weekend and like have like a cute little birthday outing, like all of the women in our family essentially. And I was like, oh well, count me in, but obviously like physically, if I can't physically fly over, then don't count me in, do you know what I mean? What curler do you use? I use a Mark Hill curler. It was like, I got sent it in like a package ages and ages and ages ago, like back before the dawn of time. No, I'm kidding. Back when I sort of was doing beauty YouTube, and I've always just used it because, I mean, right now they're looking a bit chaotic, but as soon as they drop, they do actually turn into like really, really lovely curls, and they don't hold very long. But that's not the curling iron, that's my hair. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with them, and I would definitely recommend if you're looking for a new pair of curlers. Have you ever fancied one of your male friends? Yes. I think I've mentioned this one before, but it always comes up, and I think it's because a lot of people find themselves in that situation. I've definitely fancied a couple of my male friends. I've never acted on it, unless it was a situation where, like, as like people in my friendship group, I've never acted on it, if that makes sense. So like people not in my friendship group, but like in my immediate friend vicinity, have just avoided talking about it really and tried to repress it, because we all know what happens when people in friendship groups catch feelings, it always ends up very, very messy. But of course there's been situations where we've been just friends, but I've obviously had more feelings for them than just friends. But then they're not like in my immediate friendship group. They were more like a weird hybrid of not really friends, not really in a relationship. So yeah, so yes and no, but yeah, I've never acted on it. I'm not going to give advice on whether or not you should act on it, just because, I mean, like, that's such a personal thing. Like, I would need to know like the exact ins and outs of the situation, and also, not gonna lie to you, but like, who am I to be giving relationship advice when I have got about zero experience with relationships and generally just find men stressful. So yeah, speaking of relationships, the next one is, would you consider a long distance relationship between Germany and England? Yes, purely because I just feel like, for me personally, I would want an excuse to come back to Germany anyway, like a lot. And also, I'm quite a busy woman, and the beauty of, obviously this is not like a beauty for a lot of people, but for me personally, I know that like a long distance relationship would mean that I could really like dedicate time to them when I saw them, but be able to also sort of keep a degree of like just getting on with my own life, if you know what I mean. And so I feel like I would actually personally really like it. And also, yeah, I love Germany, and any excuse to come back here on a regular basis would be definitely welcomed by me. So yes. Next one is, how easy is it to make friends on your year abroad, and is it easy to keep contact with your friends back in the UK? So I was really lucky in the sense that my building has just got like a lot of people in that are also my age and studying, and so I instantly was able to make friends because my neighbour invited us all to brunch, and then we quite quickly sort of like hit it off from there. And also, I'm also really lucky in the sense that I have a YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel obviously means that I have quite a few people also DM me like, hey, I live in Berlin, do you want to go for a coffee, etc, etc. And so I actually found it relatively easy to make friends, especially like German speaking friends. I know that that's really hard for a lot of people. Also, there are lots of Facebook groups you can join in Berlin. I think I'll probably do like a whole video on this when I'm finished here. But there are ways to make friends. And then in terms of keeping in touch with my friends from home, I definitely miss them all a lot, and I really wish that I could, you know, just hop on a plane and be there. Like when the girls went to Manchester, I was a bit like, oh my god, FOMO. But I still talk to them every day, and also they're hopefully all gonna, as I said earlier, like depending on quarantine and stuff, a lot of them are going to come out and visit me, which is really nice. It's really nice to be able to show them like a new city that I'm actually living in, like not just as a tourist, but as someone that like sort of is learning really cool spots in the city and everything like that. So yeah, and also I think it will be a lot harder when they do all go back to uni, because then I think I am going to get FOMO. But obviously because of COVID, there's not really going to be like loads of clubbing nights that I'm missing out on and things like that, because we physically aren't allowed to do that. And so yes and no to that. Basically, we are keeping in contact, but there's this weird situation where I'm not actually missing out on that much because of COVID, and it's also quite hard for them to come and visit me because of COVID. So we're in just sort of a weird limbo where like we can't really see each other that much, even though we would like to and we have the time to, which sucks. But yeah, no, I'm still, all of my friends like I'm still in touch with, and they've all been like, oh, it looks like you're having such a nice time, and we FaceTime and ring, and I ring my parents as well every week just to sort of have a chat about what is occurring. And yeah, basically like I think I've got quite a nice balance of obviously like meeting up with people who are like physically in Germany, having people come to visit, and also yeah, talking to my friends from home. It's really hard actually. Nobody tells you about that part of your year abroad, because you obviously make new friends, but you also have your friends at home who you really miss, and making new friendships is obviously more difficult than, you know, the ones that you already have, like you have to sort of start from scratch. And so yeah, I feel like the dynamic's quite different here as well. And so yeah, at the moment I'm finding it a bit, not difficult to adjust, but it's just interesting, if you know what I mean. Like it's just an interesting experience. I am so sorry, my battery died, and that means that I sort of like had to carry on doing my makeup because I do actually need to go out. But I have nearly finished now, so it's not really a get ready with me. But anyway, I tried. I've realised that I'm actually really, I can't lie, I just can't multitask, as in I can't talk and get ready, which is why half this video has been me talking about 2 miles an hour, so apologies for that. The next one is, do you think that your life would be different if Oxford had rejected you? I obviously think my life would be very different. I would have gone to Edinburgh most likely, and every time I'm in Edinburgh I always think, you know, honestly, I could absolutely see myself living here, studying here, having a life here. It would have been a very different life. I mean, not crazily different, you know, Oxford's not this like magical, mystical place where your happiness, you know, just goes up by 1,000,000%, but I don't know. Yes and no. So I do think my life would be different. I would have still have gone to uni there. I would have still studied languages. I would have still have had a year abroad. There still would have been a global pandemic. And so yes and no to that question, basically. I feel like it would have been different, but it also would have been not that different at the same time. My makeup looks really different on camera to how it does in real life. It's really not like intense makeup, but in real life it looks like super soft, and then on the camera it's like my eyes look really funny. I'm not really sure what that's about. But yeah, let's continue with a couple more questions and then I should probably finish getting ready then. Would you ever go on a blind date? I have already been on a blind date. I went on a blind date during COVID times, actually. It was like a sort of COVID blind date. It was an experience. Like, it wasn't horrible at all. It was actually really nice to meet somebody new. They weren't really my sort of person, like in terms of like relationship compatibility, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I would definitely do it again. The next one is, what is your biggest lockdown regret? I obviously like, I have like a few regrets. You know me, I'm that sort of person that's like, oh lol, no regrets. I would oh my god, I don't know. I would say like I regret that I like didn't, you know, learn some sort of new skill, but I honestly feel like we were going through the middle of a pandemic, so it's like really not that necessary to do that. I would say, I don't think I have any regrets throughout the lockdown. I think like me being like, oh, I should have worried less is stupid, because everybody was worried because we were in the middle of a pandemic. So no, I think I'm really proud of myself for the fact that I got through term and that I managed to sort of reorganise my entire year abroad in the space of like a month. So no, I'm actually pretty proud. Even if I was a bit stressed at the start, weren't we all, you know? I just happened to document it on a YouTube channel for thousands of people to watch, so. Next one is, would your boyfriend be allowed to have a girl best friend? And I would say yes, because I have a guy best friend and nothing annoys me more than the fact that everybody thinks that we're dating and everyone's like, girls and guys just can't be friends. That shocking, spoiler alert, they can actually just be friends. Who would have thought it? Clearly not anybody on the internet. But yeah, so it wouldn't bother me at all, I don't think, actually. Like for me, honestly, I mean, I've not been in a relationship, but even in sort of like close to relationships, like them liking other people's photos or anything, like I was always one to read into what they were saying, but not necessarily, I'm never stressed about that side of things, about, I don't know, like them just because they're liking somebody else's Instagram photos. Like, it just doesn't bother me. I think it's a really controversial topic, and I think some people are always like, oh my god, how could they like other girls' Instagram photos, and other people are like, really doesn't bother me. I think it's just down to personal preference. But yeah, wouldn't bother me if my boyfriend had a female best friend, because I have a male best friend and I would expect that not to bother him. So yeah. And this is the last one, is your ultimate career goal, university options for masters, and why. So basically at the moment I'm a bit actually up in the air about everything. I was kind of preset on going to London and doing a masters in journalism, but it's you have to pick newspaper or broadcast, which means you have to pick like writing or TV. And for me personally, I'm not sure which one I want to do at the moment. I'm not sure if I want to work in newspaper or work in TV. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I love London. I think London's one of my favourite cities, but I don't know if I want to live there anymore. Especially having been in Berlin, having visited Edinburgh so much, just gone to other cities, I just realised that the pace of life in other cities is a little bit more manageable, and you also don't have to spend like £100,000 just to like exist on a daily basis. And so I have actually been considering, there is an NCTJ qualification that you can do in Manchester. An NCTJ qualification is kind of like what you kind of need, that or a master's to kind of get into journalism these days. And it's only for 22 weeks, so it's half the time, and it's a lot more practical and hands-on, which I think after so many years of academia might actually be really, really good for me. And it's half the price, and it's in Manchester, and I really like Manchester as a city, as a place, and I think it'd be really nice to live there for a while. And so I'm actually considering that quite a lot right now. I know where the general direction I want to go in. I just don't know where that will be. I also thought, well, maybe I could get a journalism job here in Berlin. Who knows? So it's kind of one of those ones where it's like, I've got lots of options, but I don't really need to worry about it too much at the moment because I have a lot of time to think about that. I've got another year before I need to put the applications in, and I can apply to multiple places and make my decision in more than a year, in like a year and a half. So yeah, so that was everything for this video. Ironically, I actually really don't hate how my hair looks right now, so I think I might just kind of like tie this up properly and actually leave it as it is. So that worked out well. But yeah, so I'm basically ready to go now. I also need to get changed, so I'm not going out in this jumper, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that like the first half was me like half trying to concentrate, half trying to talk. That's actually really difficult, and thank you so much to the Great Courses Plus for sponsoring this video as well. I'll leave all the information down in the description if you want to go and start a free trial. I would really recommend it, honestly. I've learned so much from them. And yeah, that's basically everything for this video. I've really enjoyed doing another one of these, so let me know if you want more of these in the future, and I hope you're having a great week wherever you are, and cheers. Bye guys.